This Autodesk Fusion tutorial goes over how to make webs for support structures inside enclosures or other features that you might have for a box or something that needs extra support. Webs are one of the thin extrude features in Fusion, very similar to ribs and thin extrude. To create a web in Fusion, we want a sketch that has the lines for the web. So you can imagine if this was like a bottle rack and we wanted to make a square grid, we could use the web command to do that, to add some supports in here. Or if we didn't want them to go all the way through the object. So a nice way to do this is to create an offset plane. I'll click offset plane, select the bottom plane right here. And then I'm not going to pull all the way up. I'll just pull up maybe to say right here. And I'll say, okay. And then I'm going to create a sketch right on this offset plane. Then I can use the L command to draw some lines, and note that these lines don't need to be touching each other, and they also don't need to be touching the walls, as you'll see in a moment, although you can do that if you want. Then we'll select Create Web. If I select these lines, then I can choose how thick I want the web to be. I have some options of the extent type, so I can have it be a distance, and that means it's only going to go down a certain amount. As you can see here, that those are hovering above the wall, which is really nice. And as I increase this down, so if I type 7, you can see how they automatically grab that curve of the wall, which is really great. And instead of doing distance, you can always say to the next face. So they'll just fill it all the way up. And then this distance here is the thickness. So the thickness here is 5 millimeters, and that's double because it's going symmetric. If I only want it to go to one way, I could have it this way. And if I wanted to go the other way, all I have to do is type -5. And then I have a web going that way, which is really great. And if I wanted to go up, I could flip the direction. So I can have it go all the way up to the top, and it automatically knows where the top edge of this object is. So that can be really helpful when you're trying to make some sort of object right here and extend that down, and you're not sure where the curved surfaces will be. Because if I change this fillet radius, that would change how this all interacts. So if I press OK, I come back in time and I edit this feature. Let's make this 15. That's going to be a much more dramatic fillet. And you can see how that automatically adapts to that fillet. And this would be really hard if I just drew rectangles and extruded that down. I would probably have a mistake here. It'd either be sticking out over here or some other bad mistake that wouldn't have been recalculated in a parametric fashion. Webs are a great way of drawing things parametrically and having them update. What's really great is I can come back, edit this sketch, move these webs around. I could draw a few more lines in. And of course, you can make webs that are splines. You can make webs that are all kinds of different shapes, and I can change the thickness of these, and they'll go all the way down. And if I want it to go all the way down to the bottom, I can have it go to the next. And if I flip the direction, it's going to go all the way down to the bottom there, which is really great. Webs are a great way to edit features and change what is happening in your models in Fusion, and do it very quickly and have it adjust to different curves that may be parametric features in your model. Webs are a great way to add structure and support in a model. If you needed to have a ground, floor, or other supports inside an enclosure, this would be a great way to be able to do that quickly in Fusion. Happy 3D modeling.